Well, good afternoon. This is Betty Meredith, President of the Retirement Resource Center, a retirement education and training company for professionals, clients, and consumers. And I'm happy to be your host today for this webinar, Grief Literacy for Financial Advisors, Engaging the Bereaved Client, with Kathi Balasek as our presenter. As baby boomer women outlive their husbands, it will change who makes the financial decisions for an increasing percent of an advisor's client base. Financial advisors who work with women or current widows may be ill-equipped in grief communication skills that engage and connect with this growing population that really needs your help making informed financial decisions. And many financial advisors that are at high risk of losing these clients without a better understanding of grief communication and language skills. This presentation will help advisors better understand how to engage, protect, assist, and empower their widow clients. Kathi is a empathy and grief communication corporate coach and a consultant, university lecturer, speaker, educator, and podcast host who is on a mission to cultivate a grief literate culture by improving the language of loss with clients. She is currently a lecturer at California State University where she trains future teachers. Kathi is a widow advocate and teaches advisors necessary skills to serve this vulnerable yet growing population in an authentic and professional way. Most people were never really taught how to communicate with people going through grief and loss. Kathi has personal experience with this when she became a young widow raising 5 children. She had to relearn how to navigate the world, not only for her family, but for her future. And she quickly learned that people do and say things that will either help, hurt, connect, or disconnect. After 20 years of teaching and coaching, she has found that the art of engaging the bereaved client hinges on a financial advisor's competence and confidence in grief conversation. And she knows that connection, empathy, and meeting people where they are is what builds relationships. So Kathi, thank you so much for being here with us today, and I'll now turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, Betty, so much. It is such a privilege to be here today, and thank you to all the advisors who have shown up for this course. I really believe that you all can benefit from this information, specifically right now. Grief literacy, in short, is simply normalizing the conversation surrounding grief, and specifically our grief responses. Our learning objectives today. By the end of this course, I really want you to walk away with some actionable steps and be able to put some of these things into action. So first, I want you to discover why grief literacy competence is vital to your bereaved clients. Secondly, gain a better understanding of grief communication skills and language that connect and build the relationship with widow clients. Third, discover who widows are today and why they need a grief-smart financial advisor. Identify possible interventions and proactive steps that advisors can take before and after their clients experience grief. And lastly, to recognize the value of becoming grief literate in your professional, personal, and cultural life. Because as advisors, you are much more comfortable with charts, graphs, numbers. So that's very natural, and you're fluent in that type of conversation. This type of conversation can be quite uncomfortable. So we're going to get it into practice so that when it happens, you'll be ready. So when we talk about grief and mourning, okay, I like this quote: courage isn't absence of fear. It is the awareness that something else is important. Because nobody ever taught us the language of loss. Grief, death, it's a universal experience, but yet it's not a universal language. I was that statistic. You hear it all over, and it's over 70% right now. Over 70% of women leave their financial advisor the first year after the death of their spouse. I speak widow. As an educator and a connector, I want to help you with awkward things that you are facing. I teach financial advisors how to communicate effectively, to engage, retain, and attract widow clients. And I do that with the approach in building communication, action, relationships, and empowerment.